What's going on, guys? My name is Orfit. How you all doing today? In this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 things I would like to see improved with the PlayStation 5, whether it's UI, whether it's actual hardware, whether it's game performance, all the good stuff. So, without further ado, we're going to get right into this list. So the first thing I would like to see, I'd say thing with the utmost importance, is the performance of all games universally. I want them to run at 60 frames per second. Now, this is important because I was a fairly big fan of For Honor when that game came out. You know, it was a really cool concept for a multiplayer game where, you know, you're sword fighting and just watching opponents and being able to react was a crucial part of the gameplay. And that game was at 30 frames per second on consoles. Really bad for, you know, a game that required reactions and such. So I want to see all games run at 60 FPS. Now, would this come at the sacrifice of a little graphical fidelity? I think that's worth it, as long as we can get a smooth experience across the board. So that's probably the biggest thing that Sony has to do, I believe. No more of this 30 FPS shit, man. None of that. The second one, I think, is another big important one if you're a PS4 user. The controller. I want to see updates to the battery life. The battery life on the current controller, the DualShock 4, while it's a great controller, do not get me wrong. I hope they keep the overall design and just the feel of the DualShock, because it's a great controller. But that battery life, you gotta increase the battery life, man. That shit dies way too fast. The third thing that I would like to see is more UI customization. So the XMB on the PlayStation 3, I think that was, some people loved it, some people, they didn't like it so much. You know, by the end of the PS3's life cycle, I was one of the people that liked it. I liked the way that it looked, the options they had for themes. You could even go as far as to get custom themes from a website. So you'd go into the PlayStation 3's actual browser, the built-in browser, and you would go on this website. I believe it was called like ps3themes.org or something. You could straight download them from that and they would just get installed on your system. And there were some really creative themes. They were all fan made. So sometimes, in most cases, they were better than the ones available in the store. And it just, that gave you a better handle on a kind of customization you wanted for your system. The PS4 is, I like the way the original background looks, you know, without any tampering or anything. It looks really nice on its own, and some of the themes they offer are really well done, notably the ones that come with the games. Like if you pre-order them, you usually get like a dynamic theme. A lot of them are really nice, like the original PlayStation 1 anniversary theme. I'll put it on screen as I'm editing this video. I'll show you it. It looks really nice, and themes like that are kind of like the top quality of the customization you get on PS4, but I still don't feel it was as good as PlayStation 3. So I feel like the PlayStation 5 should have this level that we haven't seen on either system, you know, to allow you to customize the icons, the background, you know, even hell if you want any like music to play just over the background when you're hovering in your main menu. So I think that's something that we definitely need. Do it, Sony, please. A fourth one, number 4, better cooling. Now, a lot of people have overheating problems with the PlayStation 4, and a lot of times when you're playing more graphically intensive games, notably the more recent games released like God of War, you know, if you play like Battlefield 5, you'll hear the PlayStation 4 just go into like overdrive mode. Like, it sounds like a fucking jet. There's a few times I've noticed that, but most times I don't hear it, but the system does get fairly hot. And Chase, one of the guys I watch on YouTube, his console has given him a message I've never seen before. It tells him that his PS4 is too hot and the system will be turning off. I've never seen that before. So like stuff like that, I think they need to get a better cooling system and make it to where these systems are not as hot and you can run them for longer, because by extension you're going to be playing more graphically demanding games. With the upcoming systems, you know, they're going to be even bigger and beefier than the games we're getting now. So you're definitely going to need a way to kind of like, you know, circumvent that, so you don't have to be turning your console off constantly just so, you know, you don't overheat it. So I think that's that's a bigger one too. That's up there with the performance for me. That's something I think it's absolute necessity to have on the next generation of consoles. And the final thing, this one is trivial and more of a personal thing I would like to see come back, but bring back the touchscreen power and disc tray buttons. If you guys remember, on the original PlayStation 3, the first model that launched, the actual power button and the disc tray button was actually like touchscreen. It was kind of, it had like a physical feel, like you could feel the outline of the button, but it wasn't press. You would just touch it. It wasn't pressure sensitive either, so it was actual touchscreen. That was one of the cooler features I've ever seen on a console. I don't know, something about physical buttons on a console, I don't like it. I got spoiled by that. And I want this next PlayStation to have something like that. Like, Sony, you got to do this, man. You absolutely have to. You'll sell 50 million units more if you do that. Trust me, I'm a super analyst. So yes, thank you guys for watching the video. If you have any specific things you would like to see on the next generation of consoles, even if it's Xbox or whatever, be sure to leave a comment. I want to hear your guys' suggestions. I love speculating about what's to come. The next generation of consoles always gets me super excited. By the way, we're going to get an announcement from Xbox and Sony this year, I believe, detailing their plans for the next gen. Be on the lookout for that. So again, thank you guys for watching the video. You guys have a good one, and until next time.